Hello and welcome. This is Eagle Eye 621 coming to you on the 21st day of the 6th month with a general item dupe that does actually work. So you can see we are in the Java 1.17 version vanilla, and yes, I know I have a terrible computer. What can I tell you? Now, the only caveat is that you need to have prepped this to work by watching one of my earlier videos. So if you are starting fresh in 1.17, this won't work for you. But if you can start a little bit earlier or before you upgrade, it will work. And that's because we're making use of these bundles. And you'll notice here that these are stacked bundles. Now, I showed you how to stack these bundles in one of the earlier snapshot videos, which I will link to in the card and the description right now. But there is actually some bonus if you want to look in, not this chest, but this chest right here, which is not as cool as you might think. But let's get on with how this works. And the first thing that you're going to want to do is just have an empty chest here so that we can do this. And you're going to want to hold Shift and click two of these into your inventory. It is very important how you click on them. Don't just randomly click on them or you will ruin them. So now that we have two of them in our inventory, we're going to left click on one and right click on the other. And then we're going to drag these across. And we're going to exit just like this. And we're going to right click with our cursor highlighting over each bundle. And you can see we're now throwing these onto the ground. And we can throw away these other bundles. We don't need these here. You can keep them if you want, but you'll have plenty. And run over these, and you'll see that we now have plenty more of our stacked bundles. So you can use your stacked bundles to stack even more bundles. And let's do that again just for the rest of them. You can see we're just going to right click them onto the ground, and we always shift click when we hold these things, because if you inadvertently click on them normally, you will ruin the bundle. So have plenty of extras, and just like that, we now have lots of extra bundles of bundles. And the dupe is as simple as doing that same thing over again. So here we have some God armor for 1.16, but really it's 1.17 good enough because we have all the protections on this. We're going to take this and we're going to left click, right click, and then drag. And as you can see, we now have all of these bundles, and we can actually just right click on these to pull them out. We can put one back, and we have 15 new copies of our God helmets. And so on and so forth. And these are actually real helmets. It's not any sort of a ghost item or a ghost anything. These are 100% legitimate copies, so you can see. And this does obviously work in survival mode. So let's just switch on over to survival mode. And we can do our dupe trick again, where we left click and then right click and then drag so that we get more bundles so we don't run out of our bundles of bundles. And then we can throw these on the ground again, because who needs them when you have your stacks? And then this will work with anything, we can throw these in there as well, that you can put into a bundle, which is pretty much every item except for full shulker boxes. So here is a stack of blocks of netherite. Left click on the bundle, right click on the stack, drag them across, and lots and lots and lots of netherite. More netherite than you can ever need, unless you're building a beacon out of netherite, in which case you may want to do this a couple more times, just really for the flex. And I am doing this all in a nice flower forest because, you know, nothing bad ever happens in a flower forest, so none of the admins are going to come and do anything. I'm back in creative to just get rid of that. Now, unfortunately for our 64 bundles, back into survival mode, it's not as cool. You'll notice if we do our trick where we left click on this, we can pick up the whole bundle. And then if we right click on the next one, it didn't quite pull them all up. You can see there's 48 left. So with some quick math, there is 16 left behind. So even though we have 64 of these bundles, I'm just going to throw those on the ground because it doesn't really matter. When we go to pick these back up and see what we end up with, and making sure there's some inventory space, you can see that we just have the 16 left. So your 64s don't actually duplicate things 64 times. I mean, they do, but they don't replenish themselves in the way that the 16s do. So these are more things to keep on you as rares or ungettables versus the 16 bundles, which are the ones you're going to want to use to dupe to make 16 copies, or really 15 copies, because one is the original at a time. And the dupe really is that straightforward and that simple. Also, the whole 621 for the 6th month, 21st day, is not actually how I got my name, but again, just a nice, cool coincidence to come back on. And that's really all there is to it. Found this video interesting, I would appreciate a like. Found it helpful, maybe even consider sharing it to one of your friends. I doubt your favorite Minecraft YouTubers would care because most of them don't dupe, and I also recommend against duping unless you are duping something that you can't normally get in your world, because just don't. And that's really all there is to it. Once again, thanks for stopping by.